Hello, Tab Nation! It's your boy Tom, and today we're going to be doing another macro video. I made one, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago at the time of filming this video, where I basically just kind of covered a few, like, very easy to use, and that video became one of my most popular videos. So I figured I'd follow up with some other options that you can use, whether you're using it for gaming, personal, or for your job. These are some pretty simple, straightforward ones that are pretty versatile for how simple they are. So the first one's called Tiny Task. Obviously, this is going to be in the description below with the link to this page. Just download whatever version. Obviously, I'm just going with the newer version. So yeah, just push download. It's a pretty small file. Let's see, real quick. Look at that. It's not even 1 megabyte. It's 35 kilobytes. Like, it's super crazy small. So once that's downloaded, we have it right here on my desktop. Let me pull that up there. And we're going to go ahead and just double click on it. And that's how fast it pops up. I mean, it's like instant, the simplest GUI so far that I've used. And if you guys have one that I don't cover in this video, put it in the description below. Maybe I'll do a part 3 at some point. Just because you all seem to really like this. So you can push open if you have one already done, whatnot. You can save, record, play it if you just want to run it from here easily. You can also turn it into an executable, which is nice. And then you got preferences. Preferences, we'll cover that first real quick because it's simple. It's just play speed. So, you know, if I sit there and record, but, you know, I'm a human, I'm slow. I want it to do it way faster, 100 times faster than what I was able to record it. You can choose that. You can also do a custom speed because it does jump from 2 all the way to 100. Maybe you want it to do it only 50 times faster. The reason why is just because in video games, sometimes if you do stuff too fast, it's not able to register that. So this is just something you have to play around with. It really depends on your computer and what you're doing. I can't really tell you the answer to that one. Continuous or playback loops, that just means it's going to repeat everything it was told to do until you tell it to stop. With the continuous just means forever until you say stop, where playback I can say do this 5 times, 10 times, whatever. These are the hotkeys. You can change these. By default it is Control, Shift, Alt, R. I think that's a bit ridiculous because that's 4 buttons I have to press. I'd rather just go with something like F8. To be honest. Playback, that's what really triggers it, so you can do F12. I also think that's a bit of a long hotkey there. Always on top, show captions, custom toolbars, you know, if you want to know some information, yeah, just explore this and click whatever. But yeah, let's go ahead and do a quick test here. We'll do something simple. We'll create a folder called test. And yeah, that's good. So yeah, we're going to go ahead. We're going to push record. It's now recording. Move my mouse around. I'm going to click and highlight here. Click here to unhighlight. I'm going to take this folder, move it there. Click it again, move it back to where it was. And yeah, that looks good to me. I'm going to push record, or you can use the hotkey. We should be good. So let's test it now. So we're going to go ahead, push play. And here's my hands. So, as you see, it's mimicking me. It gets the coordinates, so it always knows where to go, regardless of where my mouse position started, which is really helpful, especially in gaming. There it goes, and went back to the record, and it's done. So I can save it, obviously, for later use, because it's restart my computer or whatever, it's going to forget. You can just name it whatever, test, mouse, whatever. And it's going to save as a .rec file to my desktop. Let's give that a second. And for some reason, it does show up as a like VLC icon for some odd reason. Who knows? But that's what it's going to look like. So yeah, then we can also do, what was I saying? Oh, the executable. This one, we'll keep the name the same. .exe, save. Compile successful. I mean, you saw how fast that was. Obviously, it was doing some pretty simple stuff. But here's our executable now. So we can close out the program. But yeah, this is our test executable. Run that. For some reason, I'm having some weird lag here. What is going on? Let's try again. I tend to have a lot of issues with my computer when I'm recording. It just eats up my memory and whatnot. But yeah, make sure to subscribe. Throwing out automation videos every week, usually in auto hotkeys, but like in this video, we are branching out. Alright, so apparently my computer doesn't want to work right now. It doesn't want to run any type of program very well. But as soon as that launches, it'll run whatever it's supposed to be doing when I record it. And I launch this. I can at least launch this because it was already launched. But yeah, you got that. Yeah, when you just open, it's going to open Explorer. Yeah, there's my test file right there. Push open, push play. Once again, here's my hands. So, it's pretty simple. Fortunately, the executable does not want to launch. Now, something else to show is, look, I'm trying to like glitch the mouse up here a little bit. I'm trying to move the mouse while it's trying to do stuff. And it's causing it to bug out just a little bit there. So yeah. Oh wow, it's really bugging out. So I recommend not doing that. Oh my. Wow. Okay. So that really does not like it when you do that. So that's good to know. Good to know. Interesting. So just a heads up on that. It started bugging out and accidentally clicked on some other stuff that triggered my antivirus. So, but hey, for how simple it is, just take your hands off the keyboard. I've done auto hotkey videos where I show you actually how to, when something's running, basically disable input from your mouse and keyboard. That could be helpful in this situation. But all right, let's move on to the next one. All right. So this one, GS Auto Clicker, links in the description below, obviously. Super small download. Time of filming this video, it's version 3.1.4. I mean, even if you watch this video years in the future, I highly doubt it's going to change that much, so should still be good. You can read about the stuff, blah, 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 whatnot. Choose your version. There's only 2 on there right now. License is free, great. So yeah, just download that. It will then appear on your desktop. So here is our example right here. We're going to go ahead and launch that. And once again, very simple GUI here, very easy. You know, file, just all it has is exit. Options, you got 3 categories here. You got clicking. You can make it repeat, or you can say options. You know, maybe you wanted to click the right key or the right mouse button instead of the left. Style, does it double click, does it single click, freeze the point only on single click, stuff like that. Then you got recording, so you can record multiple clips. Settings, hotkey, you know what triggers it, it's by default is F8. I'm fine with that one. Or you could just, you know, change it to whatever, F. For some reason it's not. Oh, okay, there we go. So press any key. So we'll say, you know, F10. We're good to go. And then it updates right here to remind you. Help just is going to launch a browser window, so we don't really care about that. Yeah. So if I go ahead and click, let's find something here real quick. I thought there was a website on here that linked to a test file, but apparently not. It might have been something else. That's fine. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and press F10. And as you see, my hands are off. And press F10 to stop. So it's actually clicking. Let me move my mouse around without clicking. But as you see, it is slowly clicking. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong key. There we go. So F10 to activate it. Go up here, go back down here. So as you see, it's just clicking. And then I push F10 and it stops. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Recording, you can go here, multiple clicks. Record and play multiple clicks. Record clicks. pick point, you can just say right there, 10, maybe. It's going to let me type. Nope. Alright, so we're going to say OK. But yeah, pretty simple. But as you see, I'm trying to move my mouse away, and it's auto-snapping right back to that middle. F10 to stop again. So you can make it click no matter where your mouse is. By default, it's just going to be wherever your mouse is, but you can also grab those coordinates through going to record, multiple clicks, pick point, and it'll always snap to that location, which will be very helpful, not just in video games, but anything really. Alright, that was that one, and if you guys have any recommendations on other ones that you've used that I haven't covered at all yet, just let me know in the comments below. Everybody seemed to really like this video. If it gets 50 plus likes, I'll definitely do a follow-up with a whole bunch more different ones I've tested out and thought were worthy of being in a video. Alright everybody, thank you. See you on the next one.
Hello everybody. So in this video I kind of want to show you a really cool program that I used to use quite a lot. It's definitely something that's great for beginners. It's a macro recorder. I'll go ahead and show that. So here we go. It's called Pulover's Macro Creator, and I'm using version 5.3.7. So this thing's really cool. It basically just records everything you do on your computer, from clicking, moving your mouse, to typing, what have you, or just having an easier way to input functions. You know, there's a lot of times where, even with all the experience I have with auto hotkeys, a lot of times I'll be like, okay, I know I can do this, but I forget the parameters of it. So I'm always Googling stuff. This is a thing that can really help you when you start, but I definitely recommend trying to move away from this eventually and actually learning the code as much as you can, just because this records like everything you do, from mouse movements and everything. So a great example of showing why you should move away from this is something as simple as moving my mouse across the screen like this. You know, right there I can already see that I've moved my mouse slightly up and down like 4 or 5 times. It's going to capture each time I do that, and that's going to be like, you know, 8 lines of code. Where if I were to manually program that, I could make it a much cleaner slice with only 1 or 2 lines of code. So definitely get away from it eventually, because it ends up being much cleaner code. Plus you're learning, so it's a great thing to do, obviously. So yeah, right here we got our macro screen right here. I can always add more if I want more. It's basically just that script 1, script 2 there. So this side is going to record the step-by-step, or my input of step-by-step, and then on this side of the screen is going to be the actual auto hotkey code that you're going to want to put into, you know, if you compile or just run as an AHK file. So up here we got, you know, the basic stuff, save as, whatnot. Don't really need to go through those. The first big thing you're really going to be looking for is this record button. So that's pretty simple. I'm just going to go ahead and show you that. So I'm going to push record. It's going to open up a new window and minimize this one. A recommendation is with this little drop down, mouse moves is usually, I think, automatically checked when you start the program for the first time. I would remove that, just because, like I was showing you with that mouse move, that's going to add so many lines of code that I don't need. The only reason I could see you really needing that is if you're trying to create a macro for a video game. You know, Call of Duty, that mouse movement is what pans your camera, so you might actually need those. But if you don't, I definitely recommend getting rid of that. It's going to make your code so much more cleaner and a ton of lines less. So I'm going to push the record. You get this little new box right here that shows you what's going on, and you can, you know, choose which script you want to record at. All the different buttons, you know, play, pause, all that. But then you also get a little message here for the hotkeys. So F9 is just to start, stop. F10 is to start a new record. So I just need F9 here. So I'm going to open up Chrome. And let me make sure that I got that lined up. Let's put that down here. So I'm going to go ahead and record this. And I'm just going to use F9 and move this off the screen. All right. So I'm going to push F9. It's now recording. You will get a message box in your bottom right corner, which you can't really see right now. And I'm just going to open up a few tabs. And then I'm just going to cycle back through them. So basically, I'm just doing a bunch of clicks here. And then maybe we'll type in like, hello. There we go. Music video. And we'll close. I'm going to go ahead and push F9 again. So let's take a look at that code now. So over here, it's a breakdown of every little thing we got there. So it automatically got a win active. Pause. Down here it shows you the delay. 5,000 seconds or milliseconds about. So you can double click that and adjust that really easy. Usually you're coding in milliseconds, but you can change seconds, minutes here. Just whatever your variety you're kind of looking for. It also has icons showing, you know, like the mouse, that's obviously a click, the pause button's obviously a pause, and so on. So yeah, let's, oh, and down here, another reason why I'm saying get away from that code is because as you see down here, it's, you know, I'm saying hello. It's literally doing a send H, send E, send L. That's, you know, four more lines, I guess, than it needs to really be. So over here, I don't see the code yet. I just click that refresh key right there. And there's our actual AHK code. So yeah, as you see down here, send H-E-L-L-O. I could honestly make this just one line saying send hello. And get rid of all those sleeps in between. So yeah, definitely try to move away from this eventually because, yeah, it's not very clean code. It just records so much. Now, if I want to actually test this out, right up by the record button, we do have the play. There's some other options down here. Never really mess with those. Yep, click out. So if I want to try to test this out, I can push play. And I'm going to go ahead, push play. Oh, I guess I need to close those out. So it's back to its original. And we're going to go ahead and push play on that. There we go. It's mimicking. Here's my hands. So you know I'm telling the truth. It's the last one. It's going to send hello. And push that enter key for me. So there you go. Pretty simple to do right there. Let's go ahead and clear this out. Now, once you actually write your script and you want to save it, you can just go up here to, well, there's two options actually. You can go up here to export to AHK. Got up here, just any information where you want to save it, all that, and just push export. And it's just going to save it to your desktop as one of these AHK files for you. Now, let's see what else we got here. So now that was the recording. Now let's say you kind of want to be more manual about it and doing stuff. So up here, the play, that's your hotkey. You can change that to whatever you want by clicking in there and just pushing the corresponding key. So I just push F1. That's pretty much what I use for everything. So as you saw in that last script, which actually let's just put some random stuff in here real quick so you can see. Come on. No, I guess. So as you see in the code over here, you're used to having a hotkey up here. When you're in this program, you're not going to see that, but once you export it, that F1 hotkey will be up there. So just keep that in mind that even though you can't see that, you will see it when you actually have your actual code. That's a good way to explain it. Now, as far as everything else goes, a lot of this stuff I've covered in a lot of my videos, so if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you know, just check back on some of those in the intro videos especially. But yeah, you can just, if you don't want to do recording, you want to have more control over thing, you can, you know, push mouse. Really cool, you know, GUI that pops up here with a lot of options. You know, mouse click, what button do I want to push? Left, normal, hold, release, right, middle. And if you have those side keys, X1, X2. how many times you want to click. Do you want to click 10 times at once, or just, one? Or repeat, that's just going to add your loop for you. Do you want to delay in between? There's so much cool stuff you can do here, including your coordinates manually versus through the record. Yeah, so that's that. See, very easy. Already got that command, and it does the code for me. There's that loop with the click left 1, sleep 10 milliseconds. Next, we got the text. So the text is just, put in a whole bunch of stuff in there. You can put enters. It should memorize that stuff too. Real easy to do. Let's refresh the code. So yeah, see, it saves even the enters, the tabs, whatever you want in there. And it just does this in raw. That way, if you have any like percentages in there, it's not going to mess up thinking it's a variable. Pause, that's just a sleep. How many milliseconds? Do you want it to be randomized? What have you? Got the message box. I use message boxes all the time, so I love this. It's very clean GUI here. Type your message up here. Put your title. And this is really cool. This is something I always have troubles with when I'm doing message boxes and I want like a yes or no. I'm always trying to remember, is that message box for, what is that? This is a great way to, not have to memorize so much stuff when you're starting out. This will kind of guide you as a learning tool too. You can even do icons. These are just kind of the basic system icons that come. So, an air, which I think is like the little yellow triangle with the explanation in it. Or maybe that's this one. I don't remember. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. And I'm just going to kind of run through these real quick, not explain them too much. You got a key weight, great menu. These are all very clean, which is great. Window, if you want to move it, maximize, minimize, there's a whole list of stuff here you can do. Always on top, that kind of stuff. So then we got the image search, pixel search. This is probably the one thing I used a lot just because I hate using these. They're just not very reliable, but this definitely helps you a lot, especially with like the color grab and whatnot. Let's see if I can pick something here. I like green. Can I get the green? Can't tell if I'm on it. So you right click and it grabs the color for you. This is amazing. This is probably the biggest use I've ever got out of this program, is being able to make these image search, pixel search, and all that. Then we got, run. You can either copy and paste your target that you want, whether it's a program or a folder, or you can just click this and you automatically get your Explorer here to go ahead and navigate it to it manually. We got a loop, very basic. What do you want to do? Just a basic loop. What do you like? How many times you're repeating it? How do you want it to break? Do you want it to continue? All that kind of stuff. Like I said, did a lot of videos with this kind of stuff. So go to, just in case you want to jump to somewhere else in the script. We got if statements. These are really great. There's a whole bunch of different types of ifs. Sometimes it can be hard to remember which one specifically you're looking for, which then makes it harder to Google. But, you can do if window exists, put the title in here. I think you can actually push title here and then click on a window. Forget how that works. Okay, maybe it's right click. So yeah, there we go. So I can just push this and then right click on whatever window, and it's going to grab the full name here. And you can add an else. Here's another useful thing. I like this. I did another video where I talked about how to send emails with auto hotkeys. And if you watch that, you'll see that it is a tad bit complicated. It's, I think, about maybe around 40 to 50 lines of code. And some of it's pretty hard to understand what's going on there. This makes it so much simpler. You have your body of your paragraph here that you want to write, who it's going to, if you want to CC, BCC anybody. The only thing you have to do is set up an email account through here. So you just type in what your email is, your SMTP server number, which that you can just Google. Just Google, Gmail and what that is, what port you're supposed to be using. Also can find that on Google. And then you just need your username and password, because it does need to connect to an actual server in order to be able to send. Because if you didn't, we'd probably get tons more spam mail than we already do, because people could send tons and tons of emails without ever getting flagged. So you definitely need that authentication going on there. And you can add multiple accounts. Maybe you want to send a single email using 3 of your accounts for some reason. You can have it do all of those at once, which is really cool. And then you can also do attachments. That's very helpful. How many times do you want this to happen? How often do you want it to happen? Hopefully you're not spamming the crap out of someone and having this like repeat 100 times every second. I think this delay would be more for kind of like send this email once a day. So you guys do the math on that. I don't know how many milliseconds or 24 hours. Definitely a high number. Or you could do seconds to at least kind of cut your number down a little bit there. Download files. Where do you want to get that file from? You got Dropbox, that kind of stuff. What are the links? So maybe you just need to update some file every day from a website. That's very useful for work for sure. So we got Internet Explorer down here. Fortunately, Chrome isn't really known for using comms. Well, actually, it's not at all. Only Internet Explorer is. So Chrome wasn't included in here. I did do another video. It's actually, I think, one of my most popular videos right now on how to use AutoHotkey with Chrome with an extension. The extension's really easy to use. You just download it to Chrome, and you only need very, very basic JavaScript for it to work. And then after that, it's kind of like this, to be honest, where you kind of click some buttons on what you want it to do, and it actually builds the JavaScript in the background for you. You just need 1 or 2 lines of JavaScript to get going, which I cover in the video on how to do that. So it's real simple. But with that, you can just do a lot of stuff here. If you want to change the height of it, submit buttons, change inner HTML text, so much stuff you can do there with Internet Explorer. But unfortunately for AutoHotkey, Internet Explorer has been discontinued and will probably slowly start to get worse and worse over time, just because they're not doing any more security updates or anything. So I definitely recommend checking that video out, which I'll put in the description below, just to start preparing for that move to Chrome. So down here, you kind of got more of like your edit stuff. If I decide I don't want this text here, I can just cut it out. You can duplicate rows. That way you don't have to re-record something over and over again if you're going to have it going off multiple times. Duplicate selected rows if you want to do like a batch. So many other options that you can do here. But that's pretty much it for this. If you guys have any other questions with this, or maybe there's some way I could go into more detail on here, I don't think I really can with this kind of thing, just because most of my videos cover what's being covered in here that's automatically being done. So like I said, please move away from this eventually. It's great for a few things. I still use it a lot of times to do for the emails and the image searches. But after that, I try to stay away from it, just because I'm going to have way more cleaner code. And if you're going to share it with someone else who wants to maybe manipulate your code, if you do everything in here and send it over to them, they're going to look at a lot of this code and be like, oh my God, why does he have so many sleeps? Why does he have so many mouse movements? It's insane. So yeah, definitely try to get away from that. I also think you can automatically indent. Yes. So you can highlight your text and click this right here, and it'll automatically what's called beautify your code to make it look like it's supposed to, with the spacing and whatnot. All right, guys, thank you so much. Definitely subscribe below. Releasing 2 to 3 videos, hopefully every single week. Let me know if you guys have any recommendations. I got a few recommendations that I already got. I'm already planning some videos with those, so hopefully you guys who have submitted those, I'll be getting to you shortly. All right, guys, have a great Christmas.
Hello Tab Nation, it's your boy Tom, and today we're doing a macro video where we're going to be showing you 3 different macros that I found. If you guys know other ones that I haven't done a video on, definitely let me know in the comments below. Obviously a link to where to get all these is going to be in the description, so check them out and which one you're interested. Play around, see what works best for you. So let's open up here. That's a old one. Let me resize this because I realize this is full screen and I'm not recording full screen. Good enough. Alright, so the first one I found very interesting. It's actually a script that's written in AutoHotkeys. I just randomly stumbled across this one day and I thought it was cool that it's done in AutoHotkeys. I don't know how to say this guy's username or person's. I'm not even going to try. But yeah, just go, link in the description to copy the script code here. Just a heads up though, this seems like the old version that started out this whole thing. But if you scroll through, you can find like the newer versions. Like here's version 2.1. So you can push expand, select all, copy, or download, whatever one, and just put it into whatever editor you want, which I've already done here. You don't really need to do anything with the code here unless you want to change the default hotkeys, which we'll talk about in a little bit. It's 400 some lines of code, 470 minus probably some white spaces. So I was pretty impressed with that, how simple that is. So let's go ahead and launch that. What did I call that? It's test 1. And alright, so we got this on our screen. I'm actually going to have to change the window here because it is by default at the top of my screen there. So sorry I'm zooming out there. I know you probably can't read that very well, but it's just telling you what the different hotkeys are and what they do. So F1 is to record a screen. That would basically be my entire area. F2 would be more like specifically recording within a window. F3 is stop, F4 is play, F5 is edit, F6 is pause, F9 is option. So let's go through some of these. So F1, we're going to start off with recording. I'm going to put this right here. So I'm going to push F1. I'm going to take this, move it around. I'm going to open Notepad. And I'm going to type in hello world. And then I'm just going to say don't save. So now I'm going to push F3 to stop. So all good. Now let's go ahead and play it. Besides pushing F4, you can also just click the button up here too. So let's push F4. And as you see, it's kind of running through everything that I did. Might be a little bit messed up there, just because I think I moved my mouse by accident there. Okay, yeah. It's messing up because it's not opening in the right place, it seems. So it's a little wonky, but that's mostly my fault for doing that. But yeah, let's see if it's going to at least type. I'll try that again. F1. We're going to go down here and type in hello world. Stop. Delete. Play. There we go. So the first time I tried it, it was just a little wonky. That's fine. That's to be expected. I mean, hey, it's only around 400 lines of code, so it's pretty impressive on its own, and it's all written on the hotkeys, which is great. So F5, or the button in the GUI, is edit. And that's actually going to be your actual code. So it's really cool because I can sit here, save this, modify it how I want, put it into another script or as a standalone script. So I don't even like need all this program running. It can just be by itself. By the way, the name of this program, I think he just called it like MacroRecorder. Mouse and keyboard MacroRecorder. Hey, whoever invented this or wrote this, if you're watching this, you should probably give your thing a name so we know what to refer to it as. But yeah, anyway, last thing is options. This is just, if you want to disable it, keeping track of your mouse movements or keys. You can export, which just saves it. Import if you want to edit something or just run it through this. Stuff like that. So pretty standard. Goodbye. Close that one down. Alright, let's take a look at our next one, which is going to be PYRecorder. I'm going to launch that. I'm going to go to the website. That would be this one. Once again, description below. Right now it seems it's for Windows, download for Windows, but I believe this should work on... Yeah, okay. I'll say it's Python. It's written in Python. So as long as you have Python, you should be able to run this on Linux and Mac OS, which is really cool. I always like the macro recorders that work across the board. And then he has a little thing here where he talks about, just how to install, different things on different systems if you don't have Python on there. But it's, once again, this is another very simple one. It's just called PYRecorder, Python MacroWin. It just has, a play and record button. So let's go ahead and push record. I'll move this around. Let's open Notepad. Kind of do what we did before. Hello world. And I'll close that out. And we'll push stop. Boom. Now let's push play. Hands are up here. And the thing I like about this one specifically is look how natural this looks. I mean, it records very detailed on exactly what I did. I mean, it looks so natural compared to most macro recorders, so that's pretty cool. As far as options go, you got new, load, save, basic stuff. Playback is probably the one you're the most interested in if you're gaming. Plus, when I just recorded, I was slow. But you can go all the way up to 10 on this. So let's go to like 6. Confirm. We're going to go ahead and push play. And just look how much faster that went. Obviously, depending on what you're doing, you could make it too fast. But yeah, that's cool that you can do that. You can also have it repeat. You can schedule it, which is really nice. To go off like in the middle of the night or something to do something. Settings, hotkeys is probably the one you definitely would want to take a look at. Stop playback is just F3. So by default, there's none. But if you want to have like start playback, you can do like F2. Or I guess I just pushed A. That's because I still have a script running somewhere. Okay, whatever. So that's just going to... you can do that or just push clear to get rid of it. But default does not have that. I don't know what's in here. Oh, that's just basic, like, check updates, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this one, another surprisingly just very easy one, and it just works. And it's probably one of the smoothest ones I've ever seen, so I like that one a lot. The next one is UiPath Studio. Let's take a look at the website there. Yep, just UiPath.com. Now this website, they have, or this macro in general, has a lot going on, but it's insanely powerful. This one definitely has a little bit more of a learning curve compared to the last two I just showed you by a little bit. But you can try it for free. You just make a very basic account, just like any other website, blah, yada, yada. Download it, and you get two things here. You get UiPath Assistance and UiPath Studio. So we're going to launch the Studio because that's where you're really going to be doing stuff. To be honest, I haven't messed around much with the UiPath Assistant. I will be doing that more, figuring out a little bit better how that works, possibly making a second video. Now, if you guys want to see a follow-up video, because I'm just kind of doing an introduction specifically on this one, hit the like button. If I hit 50 likes in this video, I'll do it more in-depth, because this one kind of deserves its own video, to be honest. So yeah, just let me know. But once you get in here, they have a lot of templates. Most of them seem to be mostly like Word, Microsoft Office, sorry. So like Excel, emails, Outlook, kind of stuff. But obviously you can create your own. There's tools. I didn't really explore those. Here's more templates. As you can see, most of them are, a lot of them are like PowerPoint, all that kind of stuff. But we're going to create a new project. We're going to make it completely blank. Name it YouTube test description for video, which I should probably spell correctly. There we go. Just a heads up, when you do download this and you run through the install, at least on my computer, it took like a good 15 minutes for the install. Another thing I want to point out is whenever you try to use some type of new thing that requires like a library, it's going to download it every single time you do use something for the first time. This is good because I'm sure with everything, all the libraries and modules that you need to run this, it would be a huge file. And there could be parts of that file that you're never going to use. So it's annoying in the moment because it's like, oh, I was just trying to make something, now it's downloading, but it's quick. But it's only downloading the resources you're actually using, so it helps in the long run make a much smaller file on your computer. Now, you got an insane amount of options here. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. Now, obviously, a lot of these are very specific. You know, you got Zoom, get meeting recording, invite meeting. You got Shopify. I mean, it's crazy how many things are on here. PayPal. Half of these I've never even heard of. Yeah, there's a lot. One thing I want to point out is OCR is on here. I can maybe do a video, but we're just doing kind of basic stuff here. You can also search up here. We're able. Alright, so let's create a folder, because that's just right there. So we're going to create a folder. Select the value. You know, we're going to put this on my desktop. We're just going to call it UI test folder. Oh, sorry. I'm selecting where to save it, not actually naming it. So desktop, select folder. There we go. Text. Basically, what do we want to call it? YouTube test folder, whatever, save, and voila, we got that. So let's go ahead, we're going to push run. First time you do use your new thing, it does need to compile for it to run. So like I said, it just takes a few seconds, as you can see. Oh yeah, I forgot, it's also going to minimize itself down for you. Okay, for some reason it did not create. I remember I had this issue last time. I forget exactly what I did. Either that or it's saving in the wrong place. Oh, it's saving. Well, there it is. I accidentally forgot to change it back to desktop. It saved it to my documents. Okay, yeah. There we go. I accidentally changed the wrong thing. But yeah, so now if I run it, like I said, anytime you make changes, it doesn't need to compile. No biggie. There we go. Alright, so yeah, it's just creating a folder. There's other things you can do. Obviously, you're going to have to explore a lot of this on your own and whatnot. But one cool thing I like is when you hit here, you can add something before the step or after. So let's add something after. You're going to get this drop down where you can search. So we could search like... I haven't memorized a lot of this because there's so much, but we could do like create a file. You know, we create a folder, maybe we want to create a file. You can also delete stuff if you want to get rid of a step, just FYI. So file location, desktop, file name, text. Something to point out here is you do need to give it an extension or it'll just create a unknown file. So txt for a text file. So just make sure you do put what type of extension of the file you're trying to create, or it's going to create one that the system's not going to have any clue what it is. So that just got created. And yeah, let me see if I can, you guys can see that. Okay, you can't see this. So it just created a text file Pretty simple. But yeah, just run through. There's so much stuff to do. Some other things you can do is app recorder. This one I can say like, oh, I'm going to record on my desktop. So it takes a second. It's collecting. Now it's, trying to figure out what to do. Pushed enter. I'm going to right click. No, it's obviously just saying like click a lot. But it's recording, and I want to show you why this is really cool. Why I like this. It takes screenshots. Not a lot of macro recorders do this, and I love it. So it shows like the actual like screenshots of, oh, okay, he was, clicking, right click, what window, system list view 32, so I can see exactly what it's doing. And then I can make other changes too, where, okay, I didn't really want to do, I wanted to double click the right key or button, whatever. So it does that. So like I said, if you guys want to see more on this one specifically, hit the like button. I'll try to dive more in deep, just because there's so much stuff in here. I'll probably do a video on like pixel search and image search, OCR, and then maybe I'll do like one specific to Chrome, because this does come with a Chrome extension, which you need in order for it to truly interact properly with Chrome, stuff like that. Obviously you can save. I'm not going to, because it's kind of a useless one. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And this was 3 more macro recorders. If you guys have seen one, I have a playlist of all my macro recorder videos. If I haven't done one on there that you guys like or used, that I haven't touched base on, let me know in the comments below, and hopefully give me like at least an idea of how to find it. Maybe like a direct link to the website or the GitHub of wherever you find it. And I will see you all on the next one. Bye!
Hello Tab Nation, it's Tom, and today we're going to be doing another macro recorder. So I've done some videos in the past with Power Automate Desktop, using the AHK version, which is Pulover's macro recorder. Today we're just going to be kind of using one that's really just simply called Macro Recorder. It's currently in version 2 at the filming of this. The great thing about this, as you can see right here, it works for both Windows and Mac. So I know a lot of people would like to do a lot of the stuff I show you in these videos, but on a Mac. I've never really touched base on that, mostly because I don't have a Mac, and so haven't really been able to do a good demo on that kind of stuff. But this one, what I show you now, will work on a Mac, so hopefully that helps a lot of people out. This program is super simple. It doesn't quite do what Pulover's macro recreator can do, but it's pretty simple for very basic stuff, mouse moves, typing, clicking, that kind of stuff. So yeah, free download, Windows, Mac. I'll put the link to this website in the description below, and let's take a look at that. So here's a little icon here, a little red circle with a lightning bolt in it for some reason, I guess for speed, I don't know. And here's the program. As you see, it's super simple, very beautiful, easy GUI to understand. Pulover's macro recorder, it does a lot, but it can be a little overwhelming sometimes for new people. So yeah, let's walk through some of the basic stuff here as an intro to this. If you guys want me to go more in depth on something maybe I don't cover in here, more advanced, if it's possible with this program, definitely let me know what your goal is in the comments below, and I might do a part 2 to this, going a little bit deeper. So the first thing we got here is the play. That's just going to run your script. Obviously we don't have anything, so it's grayed out, so nothing works. Now we can do something simple like record. So let me show you why record is good and bad. So record's good because it's fast, and I can just push record. I can go down here, push my start menu, I can open up Paint, and then I can write my name very poorly, and I can change the color, make some zigzags there, jump back, and we're done. Boom, there's my script. But you see how much stuff I just did there? I really didn't do much. I did a few clicks. And so look how long my script is. That's because it's capturing everything you do, every mouse move you make. You know, I'm moving here to the right, but then I move a little bit down and keep going right. It's going to record 3 steps there. So, you know, depending how much you're trying to automate, this script can get super long, which if you ever want to edit it, you're going to sit here and be like, oh boy, what is this doing right here? You know, and so it can be like a lot. You know, it does kind of show you, which is really cool, like little pop-ups there that kind of give you a basic understanding, but it's still not a lot to really understand. But yeah, let's go ahead and push play. Let me close out of Paint here. And we'll push play. I'm going to put my hands up in the air. I just don't care. And you see, it's literally copying every single thing I just did. So it's amazing because record just, it's so easy. But it captures way too much stuff. And that's kind of what I've talked about in my pullovers thing, is it kind of captures a little too much. So there you go. Just did all that. So yeah, let's start over. No, we do not want to save. So if you want to do stuff more manually, which I recommend doing eventually, if you have the time to do it and want to put the effort into, you know, just a much cleaner looking script, definitely do that. So we have a few little options here. You can click here, but there's a drop down right here with a little arrow. And that's going to give you a little bit more flexibility with exactly what is a mouse doing. So you can do a smart click, a move, or a wheel. So we did see the click and we saw the move. That's just moving your mouse and clicking wherever I told it to. And then wheel is obviously just scrolling up or down. So my favorite is the smart click. So let me open Notepad. We'll do Notepad this time. So smart click, we're going to click that. We're going to get this little pop-up. You can see right here it says not defined. It's because it's looking for something. So I'm going to hover my mouse over and click. And you see it copied that picture, that icon of Notepad. That's what I want. And that's kind of like, if you watch my other videos, it's kind of almost like a if when exist. Like if a window exists. So I'm looking for that specific icon and it's going to click right there. And I can choose how it's going to click. It's going to click with the left key. You can click with different ones, X1, which are like gaming things, middle, right. And you can double click also too if you want. Color tolerance, that would be for if I had this icon, but for some reason, sometimes I open this program, maybe the blue on here is a little bit darker for some odd reason. I can give it a little bit leeway. You know, this is really going to be used more in video games where, you know, maybe the sun is moving across the game. So this item's blue, but based on where the sun is, depends how dark of a blue it is. So you might have to add some color, you know, tolerance to it to really get what you need and have a little bit more flexibility. But I only really ever see that being used in like video games, which I know a lot of you guys are here for. So welcome. Hit that subscribe button. Throwing lots of videos at you every week. Now we can have a wait time. It's going to be in milliseconds. What's it going to do? It's just going to go to the next action. You can do a few things here. You can make it start an action or end something that might have already been going on. But we're just doing a step-by-step here. So we're good. This looks fine. Search area, focus window, or entire desktop. I'm going to go ahead and switch to entire desktop. Focus window is going to be faster though, because it's only searching a small portion of the screen versus your entire screen. I'm going to use the entire desktop just to show that it is still pretty fast. So there we go. We got our first step. And value, it got a little bit of an icon there. If I want to edit, I can always open it again, make any changes I want by double clicking on it. You can put a comment in there too if you want. So I could be like, this looks for Notepad. Just in case I want to remember exactly what this step is doing, I can put that there. We can adjust the columns too so we can see everything a little better. So the first thing it's going to do, it's going to click on here. And now I want to, let's type something. So we got this text and key box here. We're going to use the drop down so I can show you all that stuff. We have a key press. We have a hotkey. So key press is like a single key. Press A, press F1. A hotkey, if you watched my auto hotkey videos, you'll understand what that is. That's basically saying like, okay, now wait for me to push F1 and then do stuff. And then text output. We're going to use text output. That's when you basically are using a string. So we're going to say, hello world. Something simple. This is kind of like a hello world video, right? When it finds it, we're going to, well, actually here, let's do this. So like I said, you can double click and edit. We're just going to do hello. We're then going to use a wait. So we can do a normal wait, which is like a sleep in auto hotkeys. Wait for a pixel color. You know, maybe you're waiting for a red box to pop up to continue the rest of the actions you want to perform. Wait for a hotkey press. You know, wait for me to press F1 like I just said. Wait for text input. Wait for something to start being typed specifically. Or wait for a file to show up. We're just going to do a simple wait. That's probably what most of you are. Once again, it's in milliseconds. We're going to do 5,000, which equals 5 seconds, because there's 1,000 milliseconds in a second. We're going to throw that in there. And then let's see, we got detect image. Now in detect image, there's two things we're doing here. We can detect an image, which let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to push that little button there. I'm going to get this little crosshair thing here. So let's see. Let's detect their logo. There we go. We're basically saying, does this logo exist? And this is what I press. I kind of press that a little fast. And you're just using the left mouse to drag the area you want to scan for your picture. Or if that. So we can do the focus window. Once again, I'm just going to use the entire desktop. Now let's restrict the area. This is good because once again, this is going to speed up the image search. You know, it's only going to be searching in this one place versus the whole screen. So if you care about speed, like down to like the seconds, you might want to do this. So we're going to define search area. The nice thing is it always minimizes for you. We're going to search this whole area right here, which you can only see part of what I highlighted, but it's there. Once again, color tolerance, you're really only going to be using that in video games. You know, I've seen people use this, and usually you don't need to really go above the number 5. After that, you might start getting like false hits. So just play around with that. There's really nothing I can tell you about that. It's more of just playing around until you find something that works for you. So if the image has been found, what do we want to do? We're going to change the mouse position, and we're going to center it over this image. So it should move to like right there in the middle, like right below the lightning bolt corner. What are we going to do? Well, we're just going to keep going on with the script. We're going to go to next. Same thing as I showed you before. Start in next. You know, any seconds or how long you want it to wait before it moves on to the next one. Or you can use a wait like I did. Using it in here is going to be a little bit cleaner though. You can also, if you already have the image, you can load it bitmap from a file. You can do that. You can also push clear if you want to try again. Maybe I want to actually have it more focused on the logo, you know, since I have some of this black space here. But we're being lazy. It's kind of the whole point of macro recorders, right? OCR. I've done a video on that explaining exactly what's going on. Definitely check that out if you want more details. But that's just really searching for text. So, you know, we're looking for the text, hello world. You know, you can change it. Right now it supports English, German, OSD, I'm not sure what that is, and I'm guessing RUS is Russian. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Once again, we can restrict the area. We're just going to be looking right here at the beginning of this document. We're good there. And then we'll just move the mouse again. Why not? Do that. And we're going to push OK. Now, let's say, I did this on purpose. Up here is hello, but down here it's searching for hello world. It's never going to find it because hello world will not appear. So what I'm going to do is, do I have a space here? I do not have a space there. I'm going to go ahead and add another text output. We're going to do space world. Now as you see, it just appeared here, but I wanted to go after the wait. You can just drag and drop stuff. It's kind of weird to aim. There we go. You might have to do it once or twice. So I did that on purpose just so I could show you how to add something when you're already like at a certain point and you put it in the wrong spot. So yeah, you can just drag and drop, and it'll drop to whatever it's highlighting currently to the one below it. So we're going to search for mouse or hello world. It's going to move my mouse there.
One thing else, I'm not really going to show you guys this at the moment because these are pretty self-explanatory. But we got repeat, which is basically a loop. And that's basically going to say, keep doing this over and over again. You can say how many times you want it to do, how often you want it to do, you know, and then you can add like a hotkey that turns it off or something like that. You got go to, that's kind of like a parameter thing. If the image search fails, go do this stuff instead. Execute a program, that's just going to run a program. So that's just going to launch Notepad or whatever it is that I want to launch. You can add parameters, which I don't think many people are going to be doing. Focus window, that's just, you know, for example, Notepad's not in focus. That would just be saying, hey, you know, focus on this program, this application. And the cool thing is you can just push the crosshairs and click, and it's going to auto grab that executable name and what the window title is, you know, some background information. You can deactivate, change some of these. And that's just going to say, make sure that window's in focus before I type. I'm not going to add that because I'm going to make sure it is in focus. Which, the last thing I want to show you is, let's say you want to use something again. You don't want to feel like filling out all the information out. You can just push copy. And I can go up here and I can say paste. And then I want that first. There we go. And the reason I'm putting this here is because I do want a second just so I can click on Notepad and make sure it is in focus. I could, like I said, do focus window. Randomize parameters, that's just like numbers. You know, you could say like 1, -24 through 14. Something that's really interesting, I kind of find annoying about this, is when you click in here in the text field and start dragging your mouse left or right, it actually starts counting for you. That's kind of messed me up a few times. I personally like to just manually type in those numbers versus trying to like let me get to 1. Oh, come on. See, that to me is kind of annoying. You can still type. It's just sometimes when you're in there, you might accidentally swipe your mouse before you let go. And what do you want it to do? You know, do you want it to be a timeout delay? Do you want to change the coordinates of something? Maybe you're doing some type of mouse move and you want it to this time go this way, this time go that way, stuff like that. Yeah. And then what else do we got here? Increment parameters, basically same thing. Set parameters from a list, same thing, but you can choose the actual values versus in between numbers. You know, maybe you're doing odds. You know, you can put all the odd numbers in here and say pick from that, or file like a text file if you have one, like preload it versus typing it in here. So yeah, let's go ahead and watch this in action. So I'm going to go ahead and push play. I got 5 seconds to make sure this is in focus. Obviously, I said you could just replace that wait with an actual focus thing, but I'm being lazy. All right. Well, I do guess I have that mouse left click there, so that actually would be kind of like a focus in a way. Now the cool thing is, for some reason it failed there. I just pushed F1 again. You can see what's doing right there. There it goes. I don't know why it failed the first time. That was kind of weird. And there we go. It went through, did the weights, did the times, hello world. Let me do a new line. And like, as you see in the background here, you can actually see where it's saying, wait 1 second. Boom, it's going to move here. It's going to move there. It's going to do all this stuff. So we can go ahead and push stop. A few things I want to quickly point out is kind of your settings here. These are things that you need to probably do. Where is that? Here we are. Settings. So under the help tab, you're going to go to settings, and there's a few changes you're going to want to make. The first one is going to be playback. I mean, obviously it's up to you what ones you want to do, but it's probably a good idea to use relative mouse positions. Play with that, see which way works better, checked or unchecked. That's going to be a little bit more accurate, at least for me it is. And the other thing is hotkeys. This is definitely going to be the big one that you're all going to want to use is playback. So I just have F1,
as my playback. The reason why that is that you want to have some sort of hotkey there is because if I'm under here, under record and action, and I push play, watch what's going to happen. I'm going to push play. It's doing that countdown, but then I clicked on another window and it automatically stopped it. So there's a few settings you can play along with to make it so that doesn't happen. You can block keyboard input, you can block mouse input, but by default, if I push a key or a mouse click in the middle of my script running, it looks at it as oh, I should stop. He wants to do something else. To me, that's kind of annoying. I don't like that, you know, because if I accidentally do push a click or something, or I want to quickly switch to a window to make it start doing it in that window automatically, that's something you might want to get rid of. Now, there are different versions of this. The free version can do some pretty basic stuff, as you saw there. And if you go here, click register, it'll ask for a code. You can go to purchase license. And they got 3 levels here besides the free version. It kind of tells you exactly what it's going to do. You know, you got your standard version. You can have more than 10 reputations, basically loops. You're going to be able to execute programs, go to repeat, which we can do some of these things, but some of them just aren't going to work unless you got the paid versions. You know, especially like OCR. That's one people are really going to like. They're going to want the professional one. So like standard, it is $50. If you can use Pulover's MacroRecorder, I definitely recommend it. But if you need something that's just super easy, super clean, compared to Pulover, even though Pulover is amazing, this one's going to be definitely a very intro-based MacroRecorder compared to Pulover's, because it's just so much easier and whatnot. There are a few other settings you can play with. Like I was saying, this, when I move my mouse, move it here, move it there, it's going to capture a lot. There's a few settings in there that you can tweak to help kind of prevent some of that from happening. But a lot of times it is still going to capture a lot of those mouse movements. So I definitely recommend manually doing this. If you have any interest in expanding on this kind of automation stuff, and being able to do even more fancy stuff than I just showed you here, you know, opening Chrome, you can use this to open Chrome, go to a website, you know, that kind of stuff. Definitely look at my AutoHotkey videos and maybe start learning some of the basics on how to code this stuff right here. And that way you won't have to pay for any license if you want to do some of the, you know, more fancy stuff like OCR, or, you know, having more than 10 loops, that kind of thing. If you guys have any questions on this video, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I hopefully can help you all. And let me know if you've used this, or if there's any other macro recorders out there that you guys like besides the, what have I done so far? So obviously this one, Pulover's macro recorder, and I did Power Automate Desktop and Power Toys. So any outside of those, let me know what you use, and maybe I'll do a video on them if I find them pretty useful or think you guys would. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.
Hello, Tab Nation! It's your boy Tom, and today we're going to be doing, I guess, a continuation of basically my most popular videos, which are macro recorders. I've done, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 or so in the past, and they've been like super popular. So I'm going to be doing basically, I don't know if this is going to be 2, 3 parts or whatever. But this is part 1, and basically I just grabbed a crap load of macro recorders off the internet, and just kind of just a quick overview of each one. If there's one that you guys are really interested in, and these videos get lots of uploads, or upvotes, sorry, thumbs up it. And maybe I'll dive deeper into each one a little bit better. This is just kind of a quick overview to show you what's out there. Obviously, in the description below will be the links to all of these. So this is the website right here where I've grabbed quite a few of them from. So as you see, if you scroll down, there's a lot. And I haven't even tried half of these. A few other websites up here to try out. But yeah. Sorry, my camera's in a weird position today. And I keep looking off screen, don't I? Alright, so let's go ahead and try our first one, shall we? This one is called Mini Mouse Macro. So that launched, here it is. You know, design-wise, it's not the most beautiful looking thing, but a lot of times that's perfectly fine because it's just meant to be simple. So this one I like for a few reasons, not just because of the simplicity. I mean, it takes 5 seconds to learn how to use this, but if you do want to get a little bit fancier, it does have some pretty good stuff. I do like having the playback speed here. Some macro recorders just record what you did and you can't really always adjust it. So this is nice because then I can do what I need to do at human speed and then just, you know, make it faster. Faster than I can do. The other thing I really like about this, obviously I can't really show this in the video, but there is one here called Remote. So you can click Remote. It's going to load another window. And this is cool because I can trigger commands from another computer on the network. That is by far the coolest thing I've found in this one. I mean, that's just really awesome because, you know, you could create your script, put it on a bunch of different computers, and instead of going to each computer or server, you know, however you're using this, I mean, that's just really nice. But I mean, it's pretty simple. You got, you know, your stop, play, pause over here. You got your recording stuff over here. So you can just, you know, push record. As you see, it's live, tracking what I'm doing. Right click, you know, move up and down. We'll click here, highlight. As you see, it records a lot of mouse movements, but that's pretty normal for a macro recorder. So you can always go through and edit these if you want to right click, remove entry. You can also highlight a bunch to remove at one time. That's just a good way to keep it clean looking. You just push play, and as you see, it's running. Here's my hands. But yeah. And obviously, it's playing at the speed that I record it. I do like on the bottom, as you can see, it is showing exactly, you know, what step it's on, how long it took to execute, all that kind of stuff. Super simple. But yeah, that's Mini Mouse Macro. Link in the description below. Alright, let's move on to our next one. Alright, and this one is just called MacroRecorder version 2 at the moment of filming this one. I've actually presented this one in a previous video, so we're not going to get too deep into it, but this is kind of a video where I'm kind of trying to put like a little bit of everything into it. But yeah, this one's another really simple one. Very clean looking with this one. One thing I do want to mention about the mouse recorder on the last one that I was just talking about, that one does not actually need to be installed. It just kind of runs from your desktop, where this one you will need to install. I'll try to make sure to remember to mention that stuff, just in case that matters, maybe for security reasons at your job or something, where the antivirus might not like it. But yeah, this one's another really easy one. Just push record, move your mouse how you want, right click. It does tell you how long it's waiting. We're going to do that, and then we're going to say stop. And then we'll go ahead and push play again. Hey. So, yeah, pretty simple. There we go. Sorry, my camera keeps moving for some odd reason. But yeah, this one is way easier to use because it's just such a clean. It does have image detection, which is a very popular thing to be using in video games. I still recommend always going with like the Pulover macro recorder. I've done multiple videos on those. That one's one that you can really get in depth with, but I'm not really going to talk about that. But I can link the first video to that in the description below, just so you can check that out. But that one does have a little bit of a learning curve, so yeah. All right, up next is the Autosofted Auto Keyboard Presser. It's a bit of a nameful on the name here, but once again, just another simple one. This one does not require any installation. It's just like a portable version, basically. Clean GUI. So basically, you got your start, stop. The only thing I will say I don't like too much about this one is when you're picking your hotkey, you don't have a lot of options here. You know, whatever, but for me, I usually use the F keys anyway for most of my scripts.
But a lot of people might want to use like the arrow keys or something, and unfortunately this is pretty much what you got. It's just these options. So that's the one thing I will say I don't fully like about this one. But it is very clean, very easy to use. At the time of filming this, it's version 1.9. But that's our start stop hotkey is F1. Okay, it has been set. Play hotkey, we'll just make it F2, set. Yeah, basically, you know, time between presses, that's another way you can adjust how fast it moves. I do like that it has on here that you can have it repeat a certain amount of times, or you can just have it repeat continuously. So we can sit here and say, you know, I want it to run 5 times, so I'm not having to record a whole bunch of stuff or pushing the hotkey over and over again. You can also, there's a full version. I'm honestly not 100% sure what that does. Here's where you can save and load scripts. Apparently that doesn't want to close. There we go. You do get it for 21 days. Actually, I downloaded this like a week ago. So you get like a month to basically test it out. And then it's just $5. So it's not like super expensive. But, you know, check it out. See if it's something that works for you. But yeah, we can basically just say, you know, gives you a little countdown, obviously, for recording. But this is another one that's like super simple. And then, yeah, and that's basically it. So playing, obviously didn't record anything. But yeah, this one's pretty good. The only thing I also will say about this is when you do record stuff, it doesn't quite always capture it fully live. It's a bit of a lag. But this one, the reason I like this one and I'm showcasing it is I have tested a lot of these in like a few video games. Obviously, I don't have every video game, not a lot of time, so I kind of just try it out as I go with whatever I feel like. This one, I tried it on a few games that are known for being flagged for stuff like this and basically not allowing these to even work. This one surprisingly was able to get past a few of the video games that normally I have difficulties with. So that is like why I'm showcasing this, is why it's so great, is it worked way better when it came to certain programs versus others. So it might be worth the $5. So I just want to throw that one out there. All right, let's go to our next one. And oh, by the way, that one was called the Autosofted Auto Keyboard Presser. One heck of a name. Alright, what's up next? Alright, so obviously I had to change my screen recording size here. We'll see why in just a second. This one is called Easy Clicks EN. I'm guessing the EN just stands for this is the English version. But yeah, Easy Clicks. So we'll go ahead and open that, get the little splash screen. And it's funny because this one took me a second. I thought it wasn't running and I kept launching it, and I realized there's this little orange thing floating here. So I really like that because the GUI is just, it's so clean being over here. Like, I just love the simplicity of this. It's just, and it's on the side of the screen. It's great. I love it. It does give you a little window thing down here, so it's acting as just like a transparent window. That's whatever, I guess. It would be nice if it didn't have this down here, but I love how clean this is. So you probably can't really read what the pop-ups are going to say, but I'll try because they are pretty quick. We're going to click the plus symbol. It says select a key for the macro and then press the actions for it. So I'm going to go ahead and press F1. It now says it's recording, so I'm going to right click here, right click here, right click there. We'll keep it simple, and then I'm going to push the stop button there. Congratulations, you have successfully created a new macro. So that's pretty easy. I'm pushing F1 right now. That's what I assigned. It's not doing the macro. The reason why, and another thing I like, is you can see it's just popping up whatever the standard default thing is. Oh, Edge. Is because you can turn it on and off, and I really like that too. So right here, I can push the play button. It's not actually just going to play it like in most macros where it would just instantly start doing it. It's just saying that my hotkey is now attached to the macro that I recorded. So what I can do is now I can press F1 hands in the air. As you see, it's just doing the clicks for me. This one, I definitely give it like an 8 out of 10. If they somehow hid the little window that pops on your bar down here, I would give this a 10 out of 10. That's just my preference, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And give me your ratings on, them. I probably should have done that. I can also obviously turn this off. If I press F1, Edge would open again. You also know that I have a macro recorded, so there's a lot more options now. This is kind of like an edit window where I can get a little bit more fancy with it, stuff like that. This is kind of the system menu or program menu where you can save, open, all that stuff, delete it, to record another one. This one is your options menu, so just kind of explore that. There's just different ones here, more options. Don't block keys for stop, pause. Show a circle where the click is made. That's actually kind of cool. That'd be nice. Run at startup. There's different things you can do here. By default, none of them are checked, so you can just kind of add that. Let's see what that looks like, actually. I'm kind of curious how that's going to look. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's very clean. So I really like that one. Let me know once again which ones you guys like. And let's see what we got. I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. Part 2 will be coming out in about a week or two, where I'm going to knock out even more macros, and I'm just going to keep going. So if there's any I didn't cover in this video that maybe I haven't even done a video on either, let me know in the comments below. I'll Google it, try it out, deem it worthy or not to go on. Make sure to subscribe. Usually throwing out one video every single week having to do with automation. And yeah, see you all on the next one. Bye. And real quick, something I just wanted to throw in this video, edit in a little bit later, is I just wanted to show you guys the icons for the macro recorders in this video, just to help you when you're on the website looking at them. So you got the Minnie Mouse macro right here, which is just a slice of cheese. It looks like a face, or I guess that's a mouse. Very interesting one. My favorite just being the little robot dude here. That's for the macro recorder. Autosofted, just a keyboard, and then the easy clicks. That one just comes in a folder, but when you go in, it's just a picture of a mouse. So very simple icons. The Minnie Mouse one's definitely the most interesting. But yeah, I just want to throw that in real quick just to help you all out with that. Alright, back to the video. Hello, Tab Nation. It's your boy Tom, and today we're going to be demoing two very simple macro recorders that I found. Those seem to be some of my most popular videos, so we're going to take a look at that. No camera today, having some issues with that, but I'll be back up and running. So instead, as you can see up here, I have my keyboard and mouse, just so you can kind of see what's going on a little better. Let me know if you guys like this kind of stuff when I do my automation videos, so you can see what I'm actually pressing, versus just taking my word that I pressed them. Alright, so obviously these are going to be in the description below. The first one we're going to do is called Macro Scheduler. So I've done a bunch of other videos on different types of them, but these so far have been two of the simplest ones I have found. If you know other ones, definitely post them in the description below. Maybe I'll do like a part 2 to this. I'm just trying to show you all the different options that are out there. So Macro Scheduler is very simple. There are free and paid versions of this. Obviously in this video I'm going to be doing the free version, which does some very basic stuff, which if you're just doing gaming or using it for personal reason, you're pretty much good to go. You can look at these. Obviously the prices depend on what you want, but this would be more for like if you were in a business setting, maybe your company would pay for them to get the fancy features, and you can come here and compare versions. Now with the light version, which is the free version, you get, you know, a decent amount of basic stuff. There's a lot of stuff missing, but even for the second tier, the monthly one here, which is the cheapest, you are getting actually quite a lot, to be honest. There's only a few things that it does not have down here, like the compiler, remote control, that kind of stuff. But still, even with the cheaper version, you're getting a lot of cool stuff like Chrome automation, email functions. There's a lot of really nice stuff in here, even for the cheapest one. But hey, let's choose free. Obviously, once again, description below. So basically download that. We're going to go ahead and launch that. It's the little camcorder here, MacroRecorder. And it launches actually insanely fast. It also installed super quick. You can resize it, you know, to whatever you want, which is kind of nice. And we're going to be using this document I have right here, folder called test, just to keep it simple. You got very basic options: rename, delete, record, you know, all that stuff. Help, just, you know, it has this pop-up about it. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and press record new macro. Actually, right here you can actually say view macro, and it shows you kind of more of like the code. Unfortunately, you can't edit from here as far as I can tell so far, but you can copy it to the clipboard in case you want to share it with someone. So yeah, and then you can also delete. So we're going to go ahead and start fresh. We're going to go ahead, we're going to push record, and we need to name it. So we'll call it YouTube Test 1. This is your hotkey for controlling it when it stops. By default, it's Control-Alt-S. You can, you know, change it to whatever, but we'll keep it there. That's fine. Playback speed, real-time, slow, or fast. Honestly, between real-time and fast, I haven't noticed like a huge difference for some reason. Mouse sensitivity, that's fine. You got some other options here. You got record Windows name and positions. Minimize all windows before recording. That's usually checked, but I had unchecked that, so that doesn't really matter in this situation. Take Windows snapshot images in case I need that. Run this application, so in case maybe I want it to automatically launch a game or launch Chrome, you know, whatever. Low level conversion, all events. Don't really need that, I'm fine. And we can go ahead and press start. So we're going to press start. Gives us a little thing here just reminding us what our hotkey is to stop recording. That's fine. You can also say don't show this message again, but I like to have it there just to remind me. We're going to go ahead. It's now recording. We're going to right click on here and we're going to push delete. Control-Alt-S. And yeah, now we have that back. And as you see, here it is right here. We can right click, say view. You know, got what's going on in here. And yeah, so now let's go ahead and let's bring back that folder that went to my recycling bin. Put it back where it was. And we can go ahead and you can do it run here or just run from there as long as you click on it first. And we're going to go ahead and push play. Once again, it gives us a little warning. If something goes wrong and we need to stop it before the macro has completed, we can just push Shift Escape. Go ahead, push OK. And as you see, it's going to jump up to where it was, right click, and it's going to delete. And that was on fast, and like I said, honestly, I think that was a little slower than what I did. So if you're looking for time and precision and trying to make it faster than what you did, you're not going to have a lot of luck, but it's still the simplest macro recorder I have found for doing repetitive tasks. So it's still going to work pretty well. And let's bring this back. Alright, so that is simple macro recorder. Let me know any experiences you've had with the paid version in the comments below, just to see if anybody's actually paid and it's worth the cost. Let us know. Alright, we are now going to jump to our second one for this video, and that is going to be Macro Gamer. So once again, description below will have it, itody.com. There's a little video here that you can click and then play, and it'll give you kind of like a little intro. And down here you got some other options that you can look at, but where you want to download. Now at the time of filming this video, the zip file unfortunately is having issues. It downloads but then it keeps giving me errors that files are missing from this, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'm doing something wrong, or for some reason this whatever is currently in there is incorrect. So I had to go up with the setup right here, and that's a basic setup. You download that. It's a pretty small thing, so you get this, and this is your pretty basic setup where you just kind of go through. Obviously this is going to look a little different because I already have it installed, but you just go through this. It's a little bit of a slow install, to be honest, for how small of a program, but it's not that bad. It's only like a minute. And then you get the little logo here for Macro Gamer. We're going to go ahead, launch that, double click, and this one actually launches super crazy fast. The one thing that's a little weird about this is I do like the size of the GUI here, the GUI, but you can't seem to resize it at all, which is okay, I guess. But yeah, so once again, very simple options up here. You can load profile, new profile. Let's take a look at settings. Settings are pretty simple. It's just your hotkeys. And if you want a sound to play, I have my sound off, so you're not going to hear that. So run stop by default is F3. Start stop record is F2. So we're good with that. I'm happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and say OK. You also can look at bind keys. This just shows you what you have. So right now all we have is our stop, which are default built in. So pretty simple. And then we are going to go ahead. We want to create new. Obviously is where we're going to start. We get another pop-up, kind of like what we saw before. Name it YouTube Test 2. Now, one thing here is if I push OK, it's actually going to give me a warning here. It says, please enter a valid name. You cannot use spaces in here. So I just wanted to show you that for when you're naming. So we're just going to call it YouTube Test 2 still, but with no spaces. You got some stuff over here, record delays. Now I don't want that, but I do want to record my mouse moves and my mouse clicks. And I do want to record the position. You know, basically adjust this to depending on what you're doing. If you're gaming, you probably are going to want a lot of this checked, but probably not the record delays, depending. Record delays could, you know, if you're waiting like a time frame of how often to click or something. So yeah, play around with those. Bind it, no key. By default, we can push bind. I'm going to go ahead and use F1. That's kind of always my default. So now F1 is there. That means when I push F1, it's going to run, you know, whatever events are over here. You can play once, you can have it repeat, or repeat until you decide to stop it. So basically loops, if you want this to continuously go and you walk away from your computer, that's great. Thing to point out too is this will not run in the background. So if you're using this in like a game or like Chrome or something, it does need to be the active visible window. So you can't really, like an AutoHotkey, do control send where it can send keystrokes and whatnot to the background windows. So it does need to be the active, just a heads up on that. You can do insert where you can automatically put in like delay, key event, mouse event. Those are pretty standard, self-explanatory. But the one I think you guys would like, especially in gaming and stuff, is pixel event. If you watch my AutoHotkey videos, that's actually basically the same thing as pixel search. So let's take a look at that real quick. We can pick a location. I'm going to click on the folder here. And the cool thing is it automatically grabs the color right here, as you see, the folder color of where I clicked. And then we have some other, we can wait for the color to appear. Maybe you have a health bar, and when it turns red, perform some type of action like use potion or something. And you got some other options here on mouse move, or if you want to click there, and we can push insert. So that's that. But we're going to go ahead and push start recording because that's what most people are going to do. So we're going to push start. We're going to come up here, right click, go to delete, and we can push stop. Now, here's one thing. Look at all those mouse moves it caught. This is kind of like Pulover's MacroRecorder where it catches everything. We really don't need anything except for this last mouse move because that's the final position of being over the folder, which let me bring back here. So what I'm going to do is you can leave it like this, but to make it a lot cleaner and more readable, we can go ahead and go to the second one up, push delete, and we're just going to go ahead and delete all of this until we get to, oh, we accidentally deleted the last one. That's fine. So we're going to do, we should have kept that last one, but whatever. We can go ahead and delete this move also. because that's just me accidentally moving a little bit too much. Or actually, let's go ahead and move this down since we did lose that. There we go. So it's going to move to this location. It's going to click and release my right mouse. It's going to move. Now, obviously, once again, we don't need a lot of this. We only need this last one. So let's go ahead and delete a lot of this. Once again, this is just, kind of keeping it a lot cleaner. It's then going to left click the mouse on that delete. And these mouse moves were me moving back to the stop recording. So we don't need any of these. Look how much cleaner that looks. So yeah, way cleaner right there. So that's what we want. All right, so we got our folder here. Everything looks good. We're going to go ahead and push OK. And here's our test now. So we can push run, or we can click out and press F1 is what I assigned, if you remember. And here we go, F1. Oh. You got to push run first. That's right. So this is running now. So it's good because it has a hotkey. We can go ahead and press F1, and look how fast that was. I mean, that was pretty instantaneously. I mean, that was a fraction of a second. And if I push F1 again, since it's still running, it would automatically go up there. But we can go ahead and push stop, and we're done with that. So yeah, these are two of the by far simplest. Sure, they don't have a ton of functionality, but if all you're looking for is simple clicks or keyboard presses, this is by far the easiest way to go without needing to know much about programming at all. Like I said in the description below, if you have one that you use that I haven't done on my channel, definitely let me know, just to throw them out there in case you want to search for the other ones. We obviously have these two as of this video right now, but we also have a few videos on Pulover's MacroWin, which is done in auto hotkeys. We also have MacroWin, which is one of the most powerful ones I have found so far. Yes, it does have a little bit of a learning curve, but it is definitely worth it because of how powerful and just the insane amount of functionality it has. I've also done another one that's basically on all operating systems. It can be on Mac, Windows, and Linux. Once again, that one doesn't have a lot of functionality, but the nice thing about it is universal on operating systems, so you can share it amongst other type of operating system users, which is great. All right, everybody, hope you enjoy this, and I will see you on hopefully a part 2 of this. If I get enough likes, I'll try to find some more really good ones with some sort of theme. Give me some ideas, hit that like button, and we'll see you later. Bye. Hello, Tab Nation and coders alike. Today we're going to be doing a macro recorder kind of video here. Not really a recorder as much as more of a, it kind of reminds me of a lot of those ones where you just kind of tell it step by step. So it's almost like block coding in a way. But you'll see what I mean here in a minute. You guys always seem to love my macro videos just because they're always my top 3 videos as far as viewership goes. So I figured let's do another one. So this guy I've actually talked to, really nice guy. He's been working on this, I believe he said, for a little bit over a year. It's very clean. I was impressed with, just the functionality of it, especially within just a year of making it. So it's called MacroWin, macros for Windows. So here's the website. Obviously that will be in the description below. And yeah, this is the website. I mean, you guys don't really care about the website, so let's take a look. So when you download it, you're going to get a zip file. Obviously, you just unzip it with whatever you're using. You're going to then get a install. So Windows or MacroWin setup. So we're going to run that. This is one of the simplest install GUIs I've ever seen. A lot of them you're just like, it's like 5 different screens before you finally get to the actual install button. But as you see here, you're going to pick the location of where you want to install it. I recommend just keeping it where it is, program files. That's where it should be, honestly. But if you need it to go somewhere else, obviously change it by clicking these three dots. There's two options here. Do you want it to automatically start when you run Windows? That's up to you. I said no, because, I don't know. I like to be in control myself of what I start. Create a desktop shortcut. That, I said yes. You're then just going to push install. It will then install. You're going to get the little, you know, are you sure you want to do this and stuff. You're going to click yes. I'm going to click no because I've already installed this. So I have no reason to do that. So now we're going to actually take a look at the actual program and make our first macro. And we're just going to kind of make one or two macros, and then we'll just kind of go through, I'll kind of show you the different things that are there, and you can play with those yourself. If you want me to expand and make like a full tutorial on the whole thing, let me know in the description below. I'd be happy to do that. But this is kind of more of a introduction video. So we're just going to make only one or two simple things just so you can see how simple everything is and get an idea of how the flow goes, I guess you could say. So yeah, definitely visit the website if you want to check out more of like the history of it and whatnot. Read a little bit up on it and see, you know, about purchasing, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's actually run the program and talk about first logging in. Alright, now we got it up and running. The first thing we are going to do is need to be logged in. So you should be prompted with it, but in case you're not, which I just went ahead and exit it so I can show you this, you're going to come up here to the little blue guy with a key next to him. Click on that. You're going to be asked for your username and password. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that, and I'm going to pause this video. Alright, I went ahead and entered my information. It's then going to ask for a verification code. So I, once again, am going to pause this video and wait for that to come through. Put that in, push OK, and then we'll begin from there. Alrighty, so the verification code, it came through pretty quick. I would say about 20 seconds, if that. So I just copied and pasted that over. Something to keep in mind that I noticed in the verification code is it is a 5-minute code, so it's not very long, so you do need to pretty much do it right away, just in case you're waiting for it and you decide to walk away for a little bit. Make sure you're getting back and as soon as that email comes through, because it is pretty quick. I'll actually reach out and see about that. So yeah, this is pretty much your drop screen, homepage, what am I saying? Drop, whatever. So we're just going to go to File. You know, obviously there's a lot of stuff you can see. So here's the MacroRecorder, which I know a lot of you are going to be using, just because it's simple. But just know when you use a MacroRecorder, something as simple as moving your mouse across the screen, it can add a lot of extra steps that are unnecessary. So, I mean, it's useful in a bind if you need something instantly, really fast, but I think it's better to manually do stuff. But there's a lot of stuff in here for you to explore. Like I said, I'm not going to cover every single thing. You know, there's like themes here. You can go light, you can go dark, which I think I'm already in. Yeah, so there's light, but we like dark mode, right, guys? Let me know. Are there any light users down there? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not really going to go through any of the tools very deeply. So we're just going to do File, Add Macro. So here we're going to start with, what do we want to call it? You know, make sure it makes sense. You're not going to forget. Don't call it Macro 1, Macro 2, because then you're going to forget exactly what it does. But for the sake of this video, we are just going to call it Test 1, because why not? And, you know, a description, you know, it doesn't have to be too complex. This is for a YouTube video intro.
enough said. Associated application. I don't really want to put anything there, but you can if you want. So we got 3 things we got to do here before we actually save our macro. We got triggers, conditions, and actions. So under triggers, what's going to make this happen? What's going to go, what's going to make it run the macro? So everybody here on this channel, for the most part, are AutoHotkey users. So let's make it a hotkey. I mean, that makes sense for us, right? But as you see, there is a lot of triggers. I mean, even stuff like Wi-Fi stuff. USB drive gets plugged in or unplugged. I mean, there's so many things here. Run at a certain time of day. Kind of like how Windows has their automated running of macros. I mean, there's just so many options here, which is cool. But like I said, let's stick with the theme that we're all used to in this channel, and that's a keyboard key press. So that's going to be keyboard. Press that. We're going to add that, and then it's going to say, what exactly we want to do. Do we want to do a down press, an up press, meaning we release, trigger only once, that kind of stuff. So we want to do, so you can do remove, add hotkey, stuff like that. So there's a few different options there. All my videos, I do F1. So we're going to do F1. Keep up with my usual theme of my channel. So yeah, just do add hotkey, and obviously you can make it more than one. All right, I'm happy with that. And that's the only trigger I need. I just want a keyboard press of F1, and it's going to be when I press it down, so actually pressing versus release. Alright, conditions. Go to add. And once again, good amount of stuff here. Task scheduler, that was the thing I was mentioning earlier. I couldn't remember the thing that automatically runs. And yeah, I mean, what do we want to make the trigger here? There's so many options here. Image detection, that's always a good one. A lot of people who especially are gamers are going to like this one. That's basically whenever an image shows up in a game, boom, do something. So people like that a lot. OCR is another very popular one. If you don't know what that is, it's basically when it detects a certain text on the screen, and it doesn't actually have to be like actual typable text. It could be in an image, like text in an image. Another one big for gamers is going to be pixel searching. When a certain color is detected on the screen, do this, that, etc. A lot of these also can be under the trigger thing. So that's always good. So a condition could be, I'm trying to think what would be good. Oh, I like that one. Public holiday. Oh, that one's cool. Well, we can't really test that because today is not really a public holiday. So let's just go with something super simple. Time of day. Let's do that. That one would be simple for the video. I can't really do a holiday test because it's not an actual holiday, and I don't feel like messing with my computer's times. So you can do before or after. Let's just do before. Maybe we don't want an employee or somebody doing something after a certain time. We don't want them to be able to use a hotkey for some odd reason. I don't know. Hour, you got your hours here. It does go by a 24-hour clock, just so you know. Military time, stuff like that. But yeah, what days do we want this to work? Well, as of right now filming, it is Friday, so I'm going to say I only want this to work on Friday. And as long as it's, before 11 at night, go ahead and run. It's 7 o'clock right now, or almost, so we're good to go. So that condition will be met. Actions. Now here's where the cool stuff happens. This is where we want it to perform the automation for us. So this is where you're gonna, these are easy. I mean, these take you, you're gonna know what you want. They're gonna each take you like 10 seconds to set up. The actions, that's where you're really gonna be spending your time. This is really where the magic happens. So once again,
lots of options, even more here with stuff. There's even one here for Discord. I'm not even sure what that does. That's kind of curious. I'm gonna have to play with that one. I'm guessing it's kind of like maybe a bot style thing. If you guys test this out, let me know in the description below, or I'll reach out to the creator and give him a quick answer or question on what that one is, because that's pretty cool. I didn't actually notice that before. I like that. Once again, let's keep it simple. Let's play with our clipboard. So we want to change our clipboard text to say, hello world. You can also do like file stuff, paste, clear, maybe clear your clipboard. Maybe you have that like go off every like X amount of, your clipboard gets cleared every 5 minutes. Maybe you work at a super secure facility where they don't want anything in your clipboard for too long in case a hacker comes along or something. This would be great for someone like you. Maybe you work in the government. You could have your clipboard clear every X amount of, minutes or something. There's so much you could do with this. Like I said, I can't really spend too much time doing a video on every single thing on here because we would be here for hours doing that. So if you guys do have something very specific you want to see as far as actions go or triggers or whatever, definitely let me know in the comments below. I definitely would love to do some follow-up videos on this, maybe even combining a few different things. I think a gaming video is probably what I would do next on this, using basically OCR, pixel search, and image search. That seems to be the biggest three when it comes to gaming, so I would love to do one of those. So if you guys do like that, hit the like button. If I hit, let's say 30 likes, I'll do a gaming video based on this macro creator, just explaining those three things, and maybe more. Maybe the Discord. So we just want to do hello world. Like I said, we're keeping it simple here. This is an intro video. Alright, I am happy with what we got. Well, now that we know what we're doing, I'm actually going to go ahead and rename this away from test to clipboard hello world. This is a video for intro. Clipboard hello world. So you don't have to get everything up here, actually. Like I said, you don't have to do this first. You can do this last. Maybe you're not 100% sure what your route you're taking exactly fully yet. Like I didn't know. I just kind of was winging it here. So now I know. It's perfectly okay to go back and change it. So you're fine there. So we are going to save this. And now on our drop screen here, we have our new clipboard hello world. Now right here we have welcome. That one's already there. So let's use this one as an example. You can actually right click on these and you get a bunch of options here. You can edit, delete, a whole bunch of different things. You can manually execute it versus, doing it however it's set up originally. But yeah, if you want to clear out, you can just do delete macro. Are you sure? Obviously that's going to appear. I'm going to say yes. So that was great that that was there. So I could use that as an example. Now right here, it's kind of cool. You got the contents, description, the name. So a very basic breakdown, very clear. I like the idea of the contents thing here because I can see that I have only one trigger, only one condition, and it only performs a single action. So that's fine. So let's open Notepad for this. So we got a bunch of gibberish. I'm going to put that into my clipboard, so Control V. As you see, it is in my clipboard. What just happened there? Alright, so let's test this out now. Alright, had to pause there for a second to figure out exactly what was going on. Spoke actually to the creator, and we figured it out. So let's do some gibberish into our clipboard. So that is in our clipboard. So here's what I actually figured out. Well, we both did. So F1 is probably not the best hotkey to actually use because as of right now, not sure what's going to happen in the future. The original functionality is still going to kind of be there. So depending on what application you're using in, F1 may work, may not work, but just because you probably don't memorize every functionality of every program that has the built-in F1 functionality for help, it's probably best to just stay away from it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to switch over to F2, still have everything the same, good. One thing actually to point out since I'm right here is day and time. This little blue icon, you can click it and actually see if all conditions have been met. So I'm using a time one, so right now the conditions are met, but if I were to do this after 11 o'clock tonight, it would say, you know, not met kind of thing. So yeah, let's save that. So now we're using F2 instead. We're going to come over here. We have gibberish in our clipboard. We're going to head ahead, press F2, and now I'm going to do Control V, and there is Hello World. So I would kind of stay away from F1 as a hotkey. Good to know. But yeah, so that is how you make your first macro. We did the simplest one there pretty much probably is to do. So like I said, this is kind of very intro. So let's point out a few other little things here and there that are very useful. There are profiles up here. So you got your default. You can always add one. You know, we'll name it Tom. So this would be like my personal profile when I'm home doing stuff. But maybe I want one for when I'm doing my tabnation to help me with recording, you know, maybe help me control. I mean, OBS already has built-in hotkeys, but you know what I'm saying. But if I wanted to control different things that I'm doing, we can assign an app, all that kind of stuff. Save. So now, as you can see, I have my different profiles, so that way it only displays the hotkeys I want to use at that moment. So it's a great way to organize, or maybe multiple people are using your computer, same desktop. You know, you can have one for each user, that kind of thing. Pretty self-explanatory. One thing, and this is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a macro recorder, is a community center. So there are macro recorders out there that have websites where they have forums where you can copy their information, but you're going on the internet, you got to go to the website, you know, and it's more of like a form style. Well, this is actually like built in, like it doesn't open Chrome, nothing. It's right here. So these are scripts that other people, other users have created that they want to share with the world. So this is really cool. You got stuff like weather reports, stuff like that. And obviously you can read into them. You can upvote, you know, if you think it's useful. You know, that way it moves up to the list. That way you can see the most popular ones there are. So it's really cool, you know, and it's basically like the home screen where you got the same information with, you know, a description. What does it have? It has 5 different triggers, 41 actions. Wow. So that's pretty cool. So you can sort by, you know, upvotes, what's the most popular, that kind of stuff. If you're looking for something specific, you can use the find functionality, you know, who it's made by. Maybe you're looking something specifically to use with Chrome or whatever. So this is pretty cool. So I've never seen a macro recorder with this stuff built actually into the game or the program. So that's cool. Let's see, what else is there to mention? Another thing is there are some built-in templates under the file drop-down context menu. There's a pretty good amount in here. You know, there's a lot like reoccurring alarms, auto run, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go through all these obviously, but there's a lot, as you can see, already in there. So there's templates. Then you can go to the community center where you find stuff made by you and me. So I hope to see your guys' username pop up in there at some point. That'd be really cool. But yeah, let's see, what else is there? Oh, here's where you can upload your macro. So if you do want to share it with the world, you can push upload. It's going to go to that community center, and yeah, hopefully you get a lot of upvotes. Alright, I think that is it for this video. If you have any questions, and like I said, if you want me to expand in a certain direction, let me know. I do plan to do another one where I do a kind of a video game vibe going on in this program with, you know, OCR, pixel search, image search, and possibly other stuff. Maybe we'll play around with some of those I saw in the community center, like auto run, you know, see how those work, and you know, how it was built, that kind of thing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up. Like I said, let's hit 30. I'll do that gaming one. See you guys on the next one. Hello, Tom Nation. It's your boy Tom, and today we're doing a macro recorder video based off, as you see on my desktop here. Let me put it where it's on white. Wootomation. So this is a really cool automation program that I just randomly found. Obviously, the website for download will be in the description below. Look at these little adorable keyboards. At least I think they're keyboards. But yeah, once you're on the website, it's right here, Wootomation. Just click that. It just has some information, including download. This is currently available on Windows and Linux. Obviously, I'm on a Windows computer, so yeah. Once it's downloaded, you do get this little file for install. It's pretty standard install, so just run through that, and you'll end up with the actual application. So let's launch that. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm throwing videos like this out all the time. So 1 or 2 videos every week. There we go. Alright, so I really like this one. It's very clean, easy to use. I just like the color of it. Something fun and interesting just to start off with our first collection here is they seem to really like emojis for some reason. So you can like change your collection. And at first I thought this was kind of weird. But then I realized it's a nice, easy way to kind of like real quick, if you have like a bunch of different collections, to see what you're looking at and not have to read. So I did like that actually in the long run. So we can call this, well, let's call this like work. So a collection could basically be like, you can turn collections on and off right here, disable or enable. That's basically, you could have like a work mode, a gaming mode, a YouTube mode. It's kind of just a nice way to organize like a folder, basically. So once we're done that, you can always delete a collection. You can't delete it unless you have more than one, because you have to have at least one. But you just simply push collection 2, change the icon to whatever you want. Stuff like that. So we could do like, I thought I saw a robot. There we go. So you could name it like gaming. And then you can turn that one off just if you only want this one to work. But we're going to click our first macro here. It talks about what kind of trigger keys you have. You can set up to 4 keys or a mouse button. Trigger key is basically a hotkey. So if I press F1, perform whatever actions I'm trying to do. So you can push record. I'm going to push F1. There it is. You can obviously use modifiers. So like Shift F1 if you want to keep the regular F1 function there. Whatever you want to do, to each his own, but we'll stick with F1, keep it simple. Go ahead, push save. You can name it up here. We could call it test for YouTube. Very simple. And once again, change the icons to whatever. Do the poop emoji. But yeah, you can search for elements here, but they are categorized right here. You kind of look around. You got system events, basic stuff like open a folder. Let's do that. What's the path? So we can go over here, say open. And let's say we want to open my AutoHotkey folder here. So we do that. Pretty simple.
So all I got to do really is just kind of run through all these, see what you want to do, all that. We can save it. And here's what it looks like on the outside. So this is obviously running. I'm going to push F1. It opened on my second monitor, but there is opening that folder. It's pretty easy. You can turn off specific macros within your collection, whatever you want to do. You can go back and edit. So I'm not going to run through every single thing on here. Obviously, just explore on your own, see what's available. Alphanumeric, that basically is like typing essentially. So press J. You can change the milliseconds. Full press, which just means down, up, key up. So for example, if I wanted to do, maybe I'm playing a video game, you could do that. You can add a delay, which means basically a break, take a wait a certain amount of time. We could do 5,000 milliseconds, which equals 5 seconds. And then we could take something like this, and what was that, J? And instead of that, we'll do up. So right here, what we're seeing is it's going to hold J down for 5 seconds and then release it. This is useful in video games, especially, stuff like that. You can also just clear all if you want to start over. Numpad, basically all these are the same thing as the alphabet here. You got numpad, functions is the F keys, and then the modifiers like, modifiers on your keyboard, shift, alt, that kind of stuff. Navigation, also another thing that you're probably familiar with. You have a full keyboard and mouse buttons, so you can do like a left click. You can also drag and drop. So let's say I added a few other things here. I'm like, okay, I actually wanted the order to be slightly different. You can do that, whatever. So there's a lot of stuff you can play around with. You can also record. So with recording, I can do like ASD, push stop. It's going to put all that in there. Now it is adding the sleeps on how fast I did it, so you can always adjust those later if you want it to run faster than what you actually just typed. Or just delete the sleep altogether. But just a fair warning, when you do this in video games, sometimes you do need those sleeps, because if you try to do stuff too fast, the game just can't handle it, doesn't recognize what you're doing, stuff like that. If you change your mind, you want to change the F1 key, you just push edit here, and same thing, just record again, and saves. Now it's F2. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it on this side. I just love how simple and easy this macro recorder was by Wootomation. I've never heard of it. Just randomly stumbled across it. So you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video eventually, but there's not much to say about this just because it's so simple, so easy. I love it. You can also, just real quick, to run through some of the extra stuff here, disable macro output. This is going to disable everything. That way you're not sitting here going click, click, click. If you have a bunch, you can just one stop, click, and boom, everything gets disabled temporarily. Settings are pretty standard. Launch on startup, that's something you might want. Minimize on close, auto add delay, that you can turn off. That honestly, it depends. If I was doing work automation, I'd probably turn that off. Gaming, I would leave it there just because you sometimes need those sleeps. A few other things. Appearance, obviously, I'm just happy that they have dark mode, because honestly, that's the best way to go. And they do have a Discord. Their GitHub, obviously, this is, I believe, open source. Let's take a double look on that one, actually. Yeah, I guess it is. So, yeah, if you guys play around with this, find anything I did not talk about in this video, definitely let me know in the comments below. Like I said, link to the website in the description. But you can also check here. Macros now work in games. However, we don't support nor induce their use in multiplayer games. Using them in such context is used at your own risk. I like saying that in my videos a lot of times when I do gaming, is don't use this for cheating. Use it for quality of life instead in video games. That's not going to affect other players. So I'm glad they put that there. So shout out to these people. Alright, if you have any questions, like I said, just hit it down below, and I'll see you all hopefully on the next one. Bye!